Now, being able to read the water is a huge advantage as a fisherman. On the surface, and lakes and rivers, they all look pretty much the same, but it's subsurface where it all happens. There's banks of weed, troughs, gullies. These are all brilliant fish holding spots. And it's particularly important in summer, but imagine what it's like in winter when the fish are really shoaled up. If you could understand what was under the water, you could find those shoals of fish straight away. Now, thanks to some new technology, the Ibobber, we can now see underwater. You can find the features and you can find the fish. Let me explain how it works. So what exactly is an Ibobber? Well, it's a castable sonar device. So what's sonar all about? Well, it's the sort of stuff that the trawlermen used to use years ago, and they still use it now, to check the seabed, to find out where the shoals of fish are so they can scoop them up and you can have cod and chips down the chippy. All that technology has now been refined into a tiny little device. Here it is. You can cast it out, you can read the lake bed, you can find where the fish are. It's amazing technology. Let me show you how you make it work on the bank. The first step to start seeing underwater and finding your fish is to get the thing powered up. Now, it comes with a USB lead. You can plug it in as a normal plug or into your laptop or computer. Stick it in. Now, this bobber goes into the port, attaches so like that, and it does start to glow blue. You'll see it easier, obviously, if it was a darker room. And you just let it charge, and that charge will stay in the Ibobber for up to a month. So it's pretty long lasting. Now, step 2 of this simple procedure of setting up is to download the app. It's a free app. Again, it's simple to do from the App Store. You can use it on your mobile phone or indeed a tablet. Now, it uses the latest technology. It uses Bluetooth 4. Now, that means there's less of a drain than previous models, and also it's less intermittent, so you get a more powerful connection. Once the Ibobber is charged, you need to sync the two together. So you take it off charge, just knock it off like that, and then from the app you start to fill in your details. So you'll put your email address in, your own tagline. Mine's ESOX 1969 after pike and the year of my birth because I'm a pike fanatic. And then you'll be able to start to build your details on your phone that personalise the connection between the two. Now, step 4, well, that's about getting down the lake or river and giving it a go. What you've got to do is attach this to your rod and reel. You need a fairly strong rod. I use a carp rod with a shock leader on it, but you could just use any powerfulish rod. It weighs about 2 ounces, so it doesn't want to be something that's going to break. You cast it out and you start to get the information on your phone or on your tablet. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is mapping the water. Now, this is really important. Like I said before, it's the underwater world, the contours, the gullies, the weed beds. This is where the fish sit. And it's a trick I've used many times with the Ibobber to catch me some big carp, as well as pike and tench. Now, all you've got to do, this thing switches on when it hits the water. Just lay it down. And I'm going to go into the app, into the section marked mapping water. It's at the top of your screen. You'll see a little arrow pointing to an underwater map. You click it on and it tells you to cast out. So let's flick it out. Now, this will map to 100 feet out and over 100 feet of water, 130 foot I think as much as. So you cast it out, then you refer to your app and it tells you to start mapping. Press OK, and then you start to reel in slowly. Now, don't go too fast, nice and steady and slow. 2 feet per second is the default setting, but you can change it to suit yourself. Wind in slowly, and all the time it's emitting sonar beams down to the bottom and back again and gathering all that information up. When you've got to the edge, you go back to your app and it counts down to 3 seconds and it delivers the map of the lake bed or the river bed, wherever you're fishing, and you can start to understand the contours and then where the fish might be living. Now, another crucial part of the Ibobber is the finding the fish feature. Now, this lets you identify where shoals of fish or individual fish are. It will tell you what depth they're lying at, so you can choose the kind of rig you need. So if you were carp fishing, you could use a zig rig up in the water, or a bottom bait, or if you were lure fishing, you might use a crankbait lower down the water, or maybe even a surface popper if they were high. So you can understand where they're sitting in the water column. Also, it'll tell you the size of fish. So there's an orange tag on the fish that says they're sort of smaller, maybe under 15 inches, and a green coloured one that says they're bigger. It's a good indicator to give you sort of a pointer to what you're after. Another great advantage with Ibobber is it can be used at night when the fish are often the most active. You can put, by using the status bar, you can put the light on inside. Just cast it out and you'll be able to see it. Also, on the device here in the status bar, you've got a fish alarm, and that can activate when it goes over a fish. Okay, so we've seen how it works. The best thing now is to stay active. I mean, the fish aren't always going to come to you. You need to go to them sometimes. So I'm going to wander around, find some spots, either some fish underwater or some nice contours where I think will be perfect to set a trap and put a bait. And I'm going to sit back and see if it pays off. Well, I've had a good look around. I'm going to make a few more casts. This looks a nice spot to push your way through here to the reeds, and there's a bit of a tree there. If this had a nice shelf, I could find the drop off and then put a bait there. So I quite fancy this if it looks right underwater. So let's cast out. And of course with these things, it hardly makes any splash. So you're not going to scare anything that's there either. Let's have a look. Okay, we crept into position. We've got a lot of cover here, so we're going to cast out, flick it out. Now, it's activated because the Ibobber's in water. Let's go to the app. Now we're going to go on underwater mapping, and it's telling me to 3, 2, 1 yet. So now I can start retrieving. So I'm going to do 2 feet per second, something like that. I'm steady anyway, you don't have to be too precise. Now, there's been no disturbance, so whatever was down there isn't going to be scared off like you might do if you were using a marker float. That's it. We're in. Let's press her again. 2, 1, and then I've got it. An underwater map of the contour here. It's about 2 feet, and then it drops off down a slope and then steadies away. So it's the bottom of that slope I want to be, because that's where the fish are going to be patrolling along that. So it's a nice drop off. So let's put a trap down there and leave it and see how we go. Let's keep quiet. So there you have it. Ibobber really works. I've used it to catch carp on lakes by positioning bottom baits near shelves. I've used it to catch really big pike in Ireland. I've just dangled this thing off the edge of a boat and been able to spot the underwater features and shoals of silverfish. It's a really great tool, and it uses the latest technology, so it doesn't drain your battery. But the best thing about it is the price. It's under £100. You can't go wrong.